from Houston, Texas, and around the world. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Boom! Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me as well, guys. This is the post-WrestleMania Day 2 special. Coming to you from Sin City, Las Vegas. It's the Area Hotel, man. How you feel, man?
I'm feeling good, Book. We got another WrestleMania in the books. We had an incredible Stand and Deliver. Monday Night Raw tonight. You're here for another NXT show tomorrow, and then it's all the season has started again. You know, they showed this clip actually on social media of Triple H. The WrestleMania just goes off the air, and somebody brings him a script and for Raw and puts it on his desk, and he goes, "Oh, off season's over. It's time to start it. 365 days to the next WrestleMania."
Man. As soon as it's over, you got to get started, get ready to get back in the game all over again. That's what's so special about it, man. It is a war of attrition. You know, if you can make it, you know, through that war zone, you know, those landmines. It is the roughest thing you could ever perhaps, you know, think about dealing with. Is literally making it through that 365 days, getting ready for WrestleMania all over again. I always thought about it. I swear to God, I always thought about, you know, calculating my way through. That's why, you know, when we talk about certain matches, I didn't think about being in those certain matches because I knew it was a chance that I could get hurt, get injured, and perhaps mess up, you know, my WrestleMania moment. I think about Rey Mysterio just being a day away.
A day away, 24 hours removed,
and pull his groin, and boom, there it is. It's all over. And I'm gonna tell you, pulling the groin, it's the worst injury in the world, man. I remember Best of 5 series against John Cena. I pulled my groin working with Christian on a house show, and I remember when I pulled it, bang, right in the middle of the ring. Right, I was the champ, and I remember telling Christian to cover me. Good. And he said, "I can't do it. You're the champ, book. I can't do it." And I said, "Cover me, bro," because I knew I could not move. And we ended up working something. Referee ended up disqualifying Christian, disqualifying me, one of the two, and I got out of it. And I remember they made me these compression shorts to wear, and it was like really really tight. And lo and behold, I remember having to work a match against Rey Mysterio, right? And Rey Mysterio goes up to the second rope, does the backflip, you know, and boom, you know, does the moonsault on me, and his elbow hits me right in the groin. Bang! And I go down and I go, "Cover me, bro." Because I can't do it. But that was me. I was like, "Cover me, bro. I can't move." Those shots didn't do nothing, man. But it's I hated seeing that for Rey Mysterio going down, you know, to the last minute. I hated seeing that for Kevin Owens going down, you know, right at the last minute, right before that WrestleMania moment. But hopefully next year we can run it back.
Well, let me ask you. I mean, we should start with the headlines from WrestleMania. Some of the big moments. I mean, 2 nights, Las Vegas, 130,000 over those 2 days, just about, if you want to round up. A spectacle like it always is, coming off that Stand and Deliver of night 1. I mean, Stand and Deliver on Saturday, and then going into night 1, into night 2. But we got to talk about the main event from last night. John Cena has done it. He is the 17-time WWE champion, breaking the all-time record set by Ric Flair that we all knew for so many times. Michael Cole said he's now solidified as the GOAT, the greatest of all time, in this heel run. John Cena did it, man.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you, I didn't see it happening that way. I told you I was gonna write it down on a little piece of paper, slip it in your pocket. It would have been wrong. 100% wrong. But no, congratulations to John Cena. Couldn't be a better dude to have that spot, to have that position as the GOAT, 17-time world heavyweight champion. We've talked about Ric Flair having that spot for so many years, and fitting for Ric Flair to have that spot too, because I think we're always going to look at Ric Flair as the somewhat godfather.
Yeah, of course.
Of this business, but to be able to break that record, which I'm sure somebody's going to come along and break John Cena's record one day, it's pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool, and like I say, for me, I don't have any. I don't have any ill will or any heat towards it. I think it was the right call for the business as far as what we're doing today. I know I was reading some of the word going around on social media as far as they've been grading these matches, and that match was graded like a C. You know what I mean? I think in matches like that, people are not going to remember more so the match opposed to the finish.
Yeah. And the thing is with John, and he's self-admitted, and you can see it. I mean, age has caught up to him a little bit in the ring, right? I mean, he's not one of these guys who can still put in, 30-minute banger, going and doing everything, but he also doesn't have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to at this stage in his career. I think you say it all the time. People just want to see him. They want to be a part of it. And yes, I understand some of the criticism. Like, I understand it.
Right.
I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand it. I get why maybe you don't want Travis Scott involved in the finish of the match. Fiend. That's all I heard all weekend long. Fiend. Every time they go between Fiend. And then Travis Scott took about 2 full plays of the song to get down to the ring. You know what I mean? And if he wanted to figure out a way to get some mega heat, it was that slow walk down to the entrance. Here, Fiend for 3 or 4 minutes straight. He walked. They said
Oh my God,
Flav was there that night. Flavor Flav was there last night. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And where I was sitting there, and Travis Scott comes out, and obviously this was a lapsed fan from a different generation. This gentleman was probably in his 50s, 55. He goes, "Is that Flav?" I was like, "That's not Flav. That's not Flav, man. That's Travis Scott. Fiend. That's the Fiend."
You know what gets me is that he said Flav.
He said Flav. Is that Flav?
So he had some swag.
Oh, no, he knew. You know what I mean? This back in the day, you knew this guy was buying the Public Enemy 45 records. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
But I get why people had some hate for Travis Scott coming out. He was a part of the angle leading up into it. So I get why he was involved. But I'll tell you what I love the most. And this is what I don't hear anybody talking about. I don't hear anybody saying this. But what I like the most about the finish to the match was that John Cena, this is his first WrestleMania ever as a heel. He's a guy who made his debut at WrestleMania 20, his WrestleMania debut, defeats Big Show for the U.S. title. That's right as he turns face, coming out of the kind of hip-hop gimmick for the most part. This is his first WrestleMania as a heel. And how does John Cena break the 17-time world title record? How does he do it? Does he hit him with an AA off the top rope? Does he, do something and get him tapping out in the middle of the ring? No. He kicks him in the nuts and hits him with the belt, throws the belt out of the ring, and covers him. That's the most heel way you can win the title.
Tell me this. Do you think John Cena did exactly what he said he was going to do as far as ruin WrestleMania?
Well, if you listen to some of the internet, perhaps. I do hear all the overreactions. People saying this is the worst WrestleMania ending.
He said he was going to ruin WrestleMania. Was this the ruining of WrestleMania?
I don't know if it didn't ruin WrestleMania for me, but I'm interested to see what he does on Monday Night Raw tonight for the T-Mobile. But the other thing that I did like about it, I liked his entrance. Because what is John Cena known for? Like the big colors. He's got the red, the blue, the yellow, the purple, the green shirts, and all the pomp and circumstance, big WrestleMania entrances with cars and Cena lookalikes and all these things, right? His entrance last night, the set went all black, and in white letters it just said John Cena, and he just walked to the ring. It reminded me of Tyson. Tyson, it was like no frills, no pomp and circumstance. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to win the fight. And that's what it felt like with Cena. He literally just walked to the ring, black t-shirt, black hat, black entrance, John Cena in white letters. It looks like somebody typed him out on Windows 98. Like there was no graphics to him at all. And that part I really, really liked. And then Cody comes out. Great entrance from Cody Rhodes. Motocross guys flipping bikes and doing everything. I don't know what was the more extreme stunt, the guys flipping the bikes or Steve Austin coming down the ramp in the four-wheeler. I'm not sure which one was more over the top, but
I tell you, man, Steve Austin, man, he was lit, man. I'm saying,
no, someone on the internet goes, we heard a report that he might be drunk. I'm like, that's not much of a report.
I'm not saying that type of lit. Okay, I'm just saying when I saw him, you know, in WWE World, I saw Steve Austin. We chopped it up for a minute, man, and he seemed so friggin' happy, man. I swear to God, he seemed so energetic and euphoric. I don't know if it was for this WrestleMania or what, but he just seemed like he was in a totally different place. But it was so cool. But we gotta take a quick break, man, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. We'll be back in a moment.
Fellas, let's talk about confidence. The kind of confidence that counts when it's time to step up and deliver. And that's where Blue Chew comes in. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets designed to help men achieve stronger, harder, and longer-lasting erections. We're talking about getting in the game and staying in it.
And you know what they say, man. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And with Blue Chew, you can take these chewables anytime, day or night. So you're always good to go when the opportunity strikes. And the best part, the entire process is done online. No doctor's visits, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy.
Ooh, yeah. And Blue Chew is putting their money where their mouth is, offering you a whole month for free. It's simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com and consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once approved, you'll receive your prescription delivered discreetly right to your door, made in the USA and ready to go when you are.
Now, Brad, let's get real. Does it work? Man, they'll mistake you for a soldier at full salute. You'll be pitching a tent like a true Eagle Scout, man. Blue Chew won't stop until every man is bricked up like a brick house. That's the mission, dog.
And listen, confidence is key, especially when you're all bricked up. There's nothing sexier than a man who's ready to go. And at BlueChew.com, they can help bring that energy when it matters most. Don't miss out on what could be the best night of your life. Make life easier by getting harder. Discover your options at BlueChew.com, and we've got a deal just for our listeners. Try your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com, use the promo code Booker, and there's more details and important safety information. And as always, we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast.
Oh, yeah, man.
Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. Just chopping it up about WrestleMania Day 2 went down, and a lot of action, man. A lot of action, a lot of things we perhaps need to talk about. What should we start?
Well, we were talking about the main event last night. Let's also get this elephant out of the room because a lot of people were making hay about this. What does that even mean? Why do people say that?
What, about me sleeping at the Hall of Fame?
You know what?
I knew that's where you were going.
That's not where I was going.
I knew that's where you were going.
It's not where I was going, but you should address it.
And the thing is, I want to let everybody know. I was that the photo that's circulating around, I was not asleep. I mean, you could tell my head was straight up. It wasn't tilted to the left or right.
But it was down.
No, it was down because it was a somber moment. And I was praying and really, really, thinking about that being in the moment. You know what I mean? It's one thing about situations like that. And having that Hall of Fame speech and that Hall of Fame moment, it's certain times it's going to be laughter, you know what I mean? But certain times you got to really, really take it serious about what's being said. And at that point, I was definitely in tune. Let's just say that I was in tune. But sleeping, no, I was not sleeping. Okay, let's just say that.
So for the record, you were on Good Friday praying.
Look,
during the whole.
Charmel was sitting right by me.
Yes.
If I was asleep, she would have let me know it. Not one time throughout the night did Charmel poke me or say, baby. None of that. Throughout the whole night. It was very, very energetic. Very, very energetic night.
I don't know if you can say that either because there were so many people who were asleep. I saw the picture.
No, look, it's energetic for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? As a peer to a Fred Altman. You know what I mean? At the end of his speech, he said, this one's for you, brother. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? I mean, that right there, that was a somber moment. That was a moment that if you from, like this zone, it touches you in a certain place. So for me, see Uncle Fred, I think that's when you saw that moment. I thought that might have been the moment that photo was captured. Because I feel the same way right now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You just want to put the head in a certain position because you're calculating your thoughts.
I hear you.
You feel me?
I hear you. Well, that's good to know.
I just need the people
to know
that.
You were kind of praying.
Praying,
reflecting.
Got
it.
might. You know what? That might be a better word for what we're looking for here. Reflecting.
So you were not asleep.
No, I wasn't.
Now I saw you were seated right next to Logan Paul.
Logan Paul was asleep. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
He was out.
Logan was out. You know what I mean? So, you know what? But there was several people that was asleep. That was actually asleep. If they would have had floor cameras, they would have noticed. They would have seen I wasn't asleep. But no, it was a lot of people. I don't want to call any names or anything like that.
Yeah. You don't want to call out, Bianca.
No, Bianca Belair. I'm not going to call her out. Logan Paul.
Eric Bischoff.
Eric Bischoff.
You're not going to say anything about those guys?
No.
Okay, well, that's nice of you.
Jey Uso.
Yeah. You don't want to say anything about that.
I'm not going to say anything about those guys.
Well, let's talk about that, though. Jey Uso, the first Reality of Wrestling student to win a world championship in the WWE. I know you call his run at Raw kind of his finishing school. He's returned back several times to kind of pay homage. And even last year in the WrestleMania 40 build-up, they shot a whole package with him and you at the Walker Texas Lawyer Arena down there in Texas City, Texas, the home of reality wrestling. How did it feel for your first student to win a world title?
Actually,
second. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ember Moon.
Ember Moon. Yes. Let me clarify.
Athena.
World heavyweight title.
Yeah. No, man. It feels great. It really does. To see Jey Uso, because social media, man, they will build you up
just to tear you down, brother.
To tear you down.
That's all they do.
And the thing is, with Jimmy and Jay, they've been building these guys up and building them up, and then finally Jay get to this spot and they want to tear him down right the last minute, right before he have his moment. But I'm just so glad and so proud that kid stayed the course. And he went out there and did his job well. And I'm talking about that's leading up to this moment. Because I was listening to him and his brother talk, and the main lesson that they learned from Booker T was your losses got to be better than your wins. So let's just go out here and do the job to the best of our ability until it become our time. And that's what happened. Jay went out there and did the damn thing. And people always talk about wrestling. Don't nobody give a damn. Well, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that because people are trying to take.
You're gonna, yeah.
People take that and try to run with it. As far as this business goes, the fans want to be entertained and they want to be a part of it. Okay, they want to be a part of it. And there's so many guys that go out there and concentrate on the wrestling and totally forget about the fans. That's one thing Jey Uso have not forgotten. That's one thing that he have learned and learned very, very well is to go out there and make sure that the fans are a part of this journey, a part of this ride. And you saw it when he won that championship. Everybody in that damn stadium was yeeting right along with the man because they was happy for him more than anything. And more than anything, they was happy to have been a part of putting him in that position. So, boom, I'm gonna say it like that, and hopefully, trolls out there can run with it whatever the way you want to run with it. But he did a hell of a damn job.
Well, let me continue to get some of your feedback on some of the winners, because another one was another guy who came through Raw and had some great matches, and I know you and almost acted in some ways, and I think I heard him say this as a mentor type relationship that y'all had. But Jacob Fatu, the Samoan Werewolf, is the new United States champion. He went out there and beat L.A. Knight, at WrestleMania in grand fashion.
Yeah, like Gary Hart told me, a long time ago when I was seeking some advice from him. He goes, I'm not a manager. I'm just an advisor. And I'm like, oh, I like that. I like that a lot. No, but I advised Jacob Fatu, man, more than anything, to keep doing what he was doing, and that was going out there and performing at the highest level. I told Jacob Fatu many years ago, more than 5 years ago, how talented he really was, and that's the one thing that's going to take him all the way to the top. But the one thing you got to be in this business is discipline.
Yeah.
All right, because all of that talent, you know what I mean, can get you to the dance, but staying, in that dance is something totally different. You know what I mean? So for Jacob, I'm proud of him because he's got his head on straight. He knows now, go ahead and get the job done, get it done to the best of my ability, and literally the future could be so bright. So for me, Jacob Fatu winning his first championship in the WWE so quickly, seemed like he just showed up yesterday. Seemed like he just got to the WWE, and now he's had a WrestleMania moment.
He hadn't been there a year yet.
A WrestleMania moment like that, So for me, so proud of Jacob Fatu and what he's done.
Yeah, Jacob Fatu might have been in the middle of the card on night one, but he will be in the main event one day. I guarantee it. That is how good this guy is, and we're just beginning to see his promos and his character come out. I know we talked about it, that promo he had. You weren't in that box, when he had that one. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
God, the passion and the emotion and the energy this guy has, it's off the charts. We've seen it firsthand at Raw, but I was really happy for him, man. Dominic Mysterio, somebody you've seen his entire life.
Yeah.
Dirty Dom, baby. He's the new IC champ.
Just to watch this kid grow up, and he's totally nothing like his dad.
Right.
I mean, from a stature perspective, from a wrestling perspective, he's nothing like Rey Mysterio, but he's so freaking good at the same time. I mean, he's embraced his role. He's embraced it, and you could tell it's written all over him that this is a kid that belongs in this business. He belongs nowhere else but in this business, you know what I mean? So for Dom to go out there, win that championship, Intercontinental Championships, that means that you're on the I'm gonna use your word, the precipice of you don't normally say it like that.
I don't, but I will from now on.
The precipice of perhaps you can't wait to use that.
Oh
now,
yeah. Next road taping
of becoming the world champion. You know what I mean? So now for me, big ups to Dom going out there, pulling it off, man. Big ups. But we still got a lot more of Hall of Fame, post WrestleMania night 2, guys. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey, this is Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Fame. I got something for you guys, man. Look, when I was a kid, man, cereal was my jam. But now, since I'm a grown man, I'm looking for something that gives me more than just a sugar rush and carbs, man. That's when I found Magic Spoon. Look, it's a cereal that gives you the taste of your childhood favorites, but without sugar and packed with tons of protein.
And if you're already a fan of Magic Spoon, then you need to listen up to this because I've got some big news. Magic Spoon has taken that amazing cereal that we all love and turned it into high-protein treats. These new treats are light, they're crispy, and they become my go-to snack, especially before or even after the gym.
Yeah, man, every serving of Magic Spoon cereal has 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and only 4 grams of net carb. That fruity and cocoa flavor are the classic ones, but there's a whole lot more to try, man.
And those new treats, they've got 12 grams of protein and come in flavors like marshmallow and chocolatey peanut butter. Perfect when you're on the go or you need a quick snack to fuel up before that workout.
Yeah, man, I keep a box in my gym bag, but it's a great late night snack as well. Those treats have that crispy texture, great taste, and the macros that make you feel good about eating them.
So Magic Spoon's bringing back those nostalgic flavors, but without all the stuff that we don't want. So if you want to try it for yourself and get $5 off your next order, go to magicspoon.com/HOF. That's magicspoon.com/HOF. Or you can even find it on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store.
That's magicspoon.com/HOF for $5 off. Magic Spoon, hold on to the dream.
Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, baby. Just talking a little WrestleMania, post-WrestleMania. Night 2 went down. A lot of action went down at the show WrestleMania. My son, man, my son Kendrick had the best time at WrestleMania this year. My daughter did too, but my son, he took a photo with some YouTuber, right?
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, and he threw up the peace sign, and I'm like, what's up with the gang signs? Now you blood, you Crip, Pyru, you know what I mean? Rolling 60. Who you with? What set you with now? So I had to just mess with him, but it's just so crazy, man. My son's 14 years old, and to see him now, at this state where he throwing up the sign on the photos, man, I was like, I couldn't do nothing but laugh about it. But I'm proud of him.
The Queen showed me that picture last night, and I saw it, and I go, "Who's Kendrick think he is?" Shout out to Kendrick. He did that. Yeah.
I'm like,
And he did look like he looked grown in the picture.
He did. I was like, wait a minute, who's this kid? This can't be my son, man.
Well,
it's amazing.
We're kind of going through some of the people you have close connections with. Obviously, you have close connections with probably everybody on the roster. Another match I want to get your quick highlight opinion of. Randy Orton had a match where Kevin Owens went out with the injury. We hope Kevin's going to be all right. They had to have a replacement. We had all kinds of predictions on our national ESPN show. We were thinking maybe it was Rusev, maybe it was this guy, maybe it was that guy. I think one person said Dean Ambrose was coming back, and all kinds of
that ain't happening.
That wasn't going to happen. And it ended up being Joe Hendry.
Man, people can say what they want to say about Joe Hendry's match with Randy Orton, which it wasn't, one of those 30-minute matches or anything like that. But I tell you what, it was a damn hell of a moment. It was a damn hell of a moment for Joe Hendry, as well as I don't want to talk about Joe Hendry's bank account or anything like that. But I'm gonna tell you right now that the payday is definitely going to be worth anything people are thinking about talking about out there right there in the stratosphere of professional wrestling. Just because I'm gonna tell you right now, same thing with me. WrestleMania 19. People always talk about that moment. But I remember the check more than the moment. Still to this day, I really do. I think about my house. You think about my mortgage and all that stuff, and that facilitated all that one match facilitated all that. You know what I mean? So I'm so happy for Joe Hendry because his moment, man, was when that music played.
Yeah,
when he walked out on that stage and moved, made that turn, that Joe Hendry smile, made that walk. Performed on that stage. It was a hell of a moment, and I see many just because of people waiting and anticipating who was it going to be, and when they played the music, the pop that was heard around the stadium told me that Joe Hendry would be back at WrestleMania again, and that's what that was all about. More than anything, and I'm not going to get into detail. I'm not going to get into semantics or anything like that. But that's what that was about more than anything.
Well, I will say this. For people criticizing the match, it was more about a moment than a match. The moment was incredible. Everybody reacted to it. Joe Hendry had 60,000 people waving their hands from side to side saying they believe in Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
And then not only does he get his full entrance at WrestleMania, he's the TNA World Champion. Who would have ever thought that would have happened? At WrestleMania, guy who's not even under contract with the company is getting a shot at the biggest stage of them all. Randy wins, and then what does Randy do after? Randy does the Joe Hendry turn, right? And to me, that means a lot, in my opinion, because it just shows this gimmick, this character whatever you want to say about Joe Hendry, it's worked. It's
Yeah,
got him over,
yeah.
right? It's not about his choke slam or his foot stomps or anything. It's about the character. Because, like, what does Joe Hendry do, in my opinion? What does he do better than anybody else in the ring? Probably nothing, right? And that's not a knock on him. I'm saying he does everything solid. His work's solid. Is he over the top like a Ray Phoenix or a Penta? No.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? He does just regular things. But that way he makes people feel. We saw it on the small scale at Reality Wrestling on Super Sunday earlier this year with a sold-out capacity crowd. He had people making signs that they were flipping on the side of the freeway, and we saw it now at WrestleMania.
Well, I can tell you this. In other companies, that would have been one of those matches where guys came out and tried to have a WrestleMania match, 25, 30 minutes. Um, but not understanding the dynamics of what was going on here. Randy Orton is a seasoned veteran. He's a 14-time world heavyweight champion. Of course, he's going to go up against a TNA champion, but he's a 14-time world champion. Now, this is a guy that's been in the business now. He's got his 20 years. His 20 years in.
23 years.
He got his 20 in. That's my point. Joe Hendry is a kid who was having an argument with his mother about coming to reality of wrestling. Okay? You know what I mean? He's got so many more years left on his clock compared to Randy Orton. He's got so many more, moves to make as far as creating his legacy opposed to Randy Orton. You know what I mean? So that match went accordingly to the way it was supposed to go at this stage and this time in both guys' careers. Now, most people aren't going to look at it that way. That's out there on social media, just because they're just looking for the match.
Mm-hmm.
They're not thinking about the dynamics, the semantics of everything that goes into why is this happening the way it's happening. Like I say, I see many more WrestleMania moments for Joe Hendry, and one thing about Randy Orton, I think he solidified that because he was the first guy that Joe Hendry had to actually go out there and do it with.
Yeah. At Randy's 20th WrestleMania, a huge spot. And to me, he didn't look out of place.
I know people are going to take that and they're going to say, man, he's just trying to cover for that's not it at all. I'm telling it like it is because I'm a promoter myself. I have a wrestling promotion and certain things happen because of that's the way it was supposed to happen more than anything. Seriously.
Well, there's several other matches we can highlight. Obviously, the show opener from last night, the triple threat with Bianca and Rhea and Io may have been the best wrestling match of the entire weekend, other than the main event from night one book. Paul Heyman turns his back on Roman Reigns and CM Punk and goes and aligns himself with Seth Rollins in what is maybe the greatest. It's definitely the greatest triple threat match in WrestleMania history. I can't think of a better one off the top of my head. Maybe one of the all-time great triple threat matches, and people know those things are sometimes hard to put together and keep all the cooks in the kitchen and really execute those things in the right way. And for it to be a WrestleMania main event, Punk got his entrance, Punk got his moment. Roman continues to be great. And I think it was the right call to elevate Seth Rollins even more in that, because Seth benefits more from a win than Reigns or Punk in that particular situation.
Well, it just lets me know that, man, this place is all about business more than anything. It's about business. CM Punk having his WrestleMania moment. Everybody speculating, wondering, what CM Punk vibe was going to be like in that moment. CM Punk being in a total different place in his life right now. Say, man, let me go out here and do some really, really good business. I saw Nick Khan made a statement about CM Punk and how people said that CM Punk was the cancer.
Right.
And but he said CM Punk was just nothing more than a gentleman since he's been back in the WWE. And I think that's just a maturity of CM Punk and where he is now at this stage in his career. If it happened for him, it's going to happen. It's going to happen if it's going to happen. But it's not something that he can, what word am I looking for? It's not something that he's going to be able to manufacture. It's something that's going to have to happen organically, like most of those moments that happen, when you get in that position, So no, I was really proud of what those three guys went out there and did. I hear, Roman Reigns saying that he perhaps may be retiring in the next 2 years.
I read that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no, man, all of these guys are in a certain place in their lives, and I think more importantly, at the end of the day, that match was about going out there and giving a hell of a show, but putting Seth Rollins in that position that Roman Reigns has been in for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and it was beautifully done, and Paul Heyman's work in that main event, just made it even that much more incredible. And Paul, to be at this stage in his career and be an integral part of a WrestleMania main event says a lot too.
Yeah, definitely. Hey man, but you in the Hall of Fame. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey, y'all, Booker T here alongside with my main man, Brad Gilmore. And today we're talking about something that could really change the game when it comes to how you get paid.
That's right, Booker, because let's face it, life doesn't just happen every 2 weeks. So why wait for a payday? With Earn In, the money you've earned already can be in your hands today.
Earn In is this incredible app that lets you access your pay as you earn it. We're talking about up to $100 per day and up to $750 each pay period.
All you got to do is download the Earn In app, verify your paycheck, and boom, you can access up to $100 a day as you work. And the cool part, you just leave an optional tip, and any money you access plus the tip gets repaid when your next paycheck rolls in.
You know, Brad, I'm always talking about staying ready so you don't have to get ready, right? Imagine having that extra cash for that surprise date night, or maybe when you have to take the furry little friend to the vet unexpectedly.
Absolutely, Booker. Or even those times when you need to grab a last-minute gift, or maybe you're a little short on rent, or hey, even you might want to pick up some new gear for yourself or your kids or your lady.
Folks, make Earn In part of your financial playbook. Join over 3.5 million customers who are finding financial stability and peace of mind thanks to Earn In.
So don't wait around for a payday. Get your money when you need it and take control of your finances. Download Earn In today and experience what it's like to access pay on your terms.
Get started with Earn In now and join the millions who are getting their pay their way. It's time to earn in, not just earn. Check it out, man.
Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, baby. I know we got some super chatters, man. Just stick around. Stick around. We're going to handle all the super chatters and take care of you guys. Talk about everything that went down over this weekend, but some things that happened in Vegas, it's got to stay here, man.
It does. It does have to stay here. You know what? We were talking about WrestleMania night 1, night 2, a couple of standout moments. Obviously, there was a lot of great stuff on both of the shows. I think, WrestleMania 40 last year was so great from top to bottom on both nights. It did seem like an impossible task to top the excitement of Cody culminating his story and having all the crazy moments and entrances that they had in WrestleMania 40 main event. I think that's why some people are looking at this WrestleMania 41 main event with John Cena and Cody as somewhat of a letdown because they said we only got a Travis Scott interference. And I'm like, well, we don't need a whole bunch of interference. And here's the other thing that people are bringing up. The Rock. Where was The Rock? Where was The Rock? Why wasn't The Rock there? How come The Rock didn't come in? How come The Rock wasn't in the main event? All valid questions. However, didn't look like John needed him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he won the title without him. And look, did I expect The Rock to be there? I did, because I remember earlier in the year where they said, oh, Rock's not going to be at WrestleMania 41, and Rock said on social media, that's BS, right? But I also know The Rock has talked a lot about long-term storytelling. Long-term. We got to think about the long-term, way down the road, not just one, show at a time. So maybe that's shooting The Rock a little bail there, but perhaps we see him. He could be here tonight. You don't know at Monday Night Raw or down the road somewhere. But John Cena is didn't need The Rock last night. Did you expect to see The Rock?
Yeah.
So did I.
Just because of the way it played out.
Yeah.
With the Travis Scott thing from the beginning. Rock was there. They had to. Everybody had the little feel that this was a game, trios, what I mean, something, what I mean, like that. But nah, man, I don't know. One thing, I, I think, I don't think you can try to compare one WrestleMania to the next.
It's too hard.
You just can't do that. I don't
Yeah.
think. I mean, I don't go into. I guess if it was like the franchise, like the Rocky franchise.
Yes.
You know what I
Perfect
mean?
example.
You're looking for the movie to be better than the next movie, but with wrestling, it's 52 weeks a year. You know what I mean? WrestleMania is once a year. You know what I mean? It is so hard to really compare. WrestleMania 3 with Steamboat and Savage to WrestleMania 41. It's impossible. It's impossible to actually do that. You know what I mean? So I just look at it as it was a hell of a show. It's a hell of a show. Do everybody get everything that they want all the time? That's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible. You know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it.
Well, and also WrestleMania, although it does it is looked at as a bookend, right? To use a term for you, no pun intended. But it's looked at as a bookend, like it's the end of the season. This is where the season finale of a television show, or this is the ultimate climax. But you do have to think about there's a show tomorrow night.
Yes.
So tonight has to play in tomorrow night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that Friday.
Even WrestleMania.
Yeah. It's just it's not just another show, but it's just another show.
It is, yeah.
It's just another part
a lot of people really can't put themselves in that frame of mind and look at it that way. But that's truly the way it is. WrestleMania is it's not the end of the season. It's the beginning of a season.
It's really a beginning. Yeah, because it's setting up everything we're going to see for the next 365. Now here's a great question. There's a few more things. I want to get your opinion on this first, actually, before I move to that. Lyra Valkyria, first WrestleMania. She's down a tag partner. The man, Becky Lynch, comes back, and they beat Liv and Raquel for the tag team titles. Lyra Valkyria, not even been on the main roster a year. This is her first WrestleMania. She's the first ever women's Intercontinental Champion. And now she's the first woman to hold both the women's Intercontinental title simultaneously with a women's tag team title. You know what? And when I saw her in NXT, she lived up to the billing. And to me now, this WrestleMania felt even more so than her Intercontinental title win as a launching pad for Lyra Valkyria, starting to be looked at in that top tier.
Yeah. And think about it. Lyra Valkyria, who she win the title from?
She won it from Becky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At NXT.
And they're both from that same dojo
in Ireland.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So it was a great freaking comeback. It was a great freaking moment. You know what I mean? And to be able to put all that together and all that that's intertwining and pull it and make it all, sync up together. It was amazing. You know what I mean? Was it playing that way? It couldn't have been. You know what I mean? Did they flip on the banana peel and be able to pull one off? Perhaps, but I tell you, man, what a freaking story. What a freaking story. What a way back in. Big time Becky Two Belts. She's back.
She's back, baby. And Bayley had to go out in an angle in order to set that up or what have you. And people are like, wow, it sucks for Bayley and blah 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 blah. Which yes, I mean obviously if you're going to be at WrestleMania and then you're not all of a sudden, I'm sure you would rather be on the card than not be on the card. However, to me, you talk about business. Isn't that like the sign of a true pro?
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. For all them suckers on the outside looking in, like I said, I'm not going to tell Bayley's business or anything like that.
Yeah.
But let me just say it. Let me just say this. Let me just say this. Bayley did do the business thing, but Bayley could have been on the show and she wasn't even on the show. If you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, man. And for me, I'm like. If I'm in her position,
I see what you're saying.
I may do the same exact thing that she did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it was the right thing to do. You know what I mean? That's I'm speaking in big Latin.
But real ones know.
But the real ones, they know.
They get what you're saying.
You feel me?
They get what you're saying. We're picking it up.
I'm just saying.
Do you feel, because this was the criticism I did see too, going back to Lyra. Lyra's a women's Intercontinental Champion. You have Chelsea Green, who's the Women's United States champion. Neither title defended in their first opportunity to be at a WrestleMania. Do you feel like WrestleMania has to have every title on the line, or is it more so like, look, we got 14 slots, and we got to put together 14 top tier, best we can, sell out in arena matches?
It's about WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It's not just about it's not about any individual when it comes to WrestleMania. It's about creating the biggest buzz we possibly can create for these 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Give the fans the ultimate moments, and I think they gave the fans a lot of great moments from Stand and Deliver,
For sure.
to night 1 to night 2. You got a whole hell of a lot in those freaking 3 days. So for me, I think that's what the WrestleMania week is about more than anything. If we can get you on the show, we can get you on there. But sometimes, it's just not going to be your time. That's just part of it. Period. Point blank. That's just the way it is. I remember WrestleMania season coming around. I remember, and I wasn't on WrestleMania, and I was like, man, this sucks. You know what I mean? They created a spot for me in a battle royal. You know what I mean? So, but it was right before WrestleMania. I won the battle royal, which, got me a match, such and such against for the title. You know what I mean? But so that's just the way it works sometimes, and if you think it's going to always be your turn in this business, you better get another job.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And but also like from the fans' perspective, like, you got to understand, like, yes, you want to see everybody, all your favorites at WrestleMania, but again, there's a finite amount of slots. There's only so many people who can get on this show, and you know what? Sometimes it's motivation, I guess, to get on the show next year. I don't know.
You should be hot too. You know what I mean? If you're not on Russell, and you think you've earned that spot, you should be hot. It's only going to make you work harder for next year.
Yeah,
it's all it's going to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So no, don't cry about it. Do something about it.
You have a pretty good record at these WrestleMania Battle Royals. You won a Battle Royal at WrestleMania, then you won a Battle Royal to get into WrestleMania for the world title. You're like kind of like a Battle Royal guy.
I beat The Rock.
You did.
In Battle Royal.
You did.
So I was like the king of the Battle Royals. You know what I mean? You didn't have to do much in those matches.
Kick, punch, stay out of the way,
Exactly.
Walk from this corner to that
Go
corner.
Stealth, hide.
Go stealth,
That's
hide.
what I did more than anything. I just hid in those type of matches.
Battle Royal kind of feels like a night off sometimes, huh?
It is. It really is. Unless you one of those guys that's going to be in there all night.
Yeah.
I never did like that. Either get me in early, late, or let me win it.
Any of those I'm good with. So we're gonna leave our radio audience here in a few seconds and then be back with our YouTube audience for the super chats. But how do you grade WrestleMania? Did you enjoy your Las Vegas experience? I know you still got NXT to go, but what'd you think?
It's been a hell of a week. It really has. It's been a hell of a week. I wish you could have got over there and got some of that WrestleCon money. I heard Mike Tyson made a grip.
I'm sure he did.
I heard he had about 1,000 people in his line.
I'm sure he did.
But no, man. Other than that, man, it's been a hell of a WrestleMania. It's been a hell of a week here in Vegas. Here, like I said, I started Wednesday. I'm gonna finish it on Wednesday. So I'm looking forward to the next one in New Orleans. Les Bon Talion Roulette, baby. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can't wait.
We'll send our radio audience home. We'll be back with some
Hey
super chats.
man, I think everybody's been hanging out with us inside the Hall of Fame. Give you champagne wishes, caviar dreams, baby. Shuggy Duggy Quack Quack, Brad for all the heavy lifting. Until next time, peace. We love you, and we out.
Can you dig it, sucker? And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up, BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So it's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
You know, let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, you know, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it.
Boom! All my super chatters, man. I hope you guys ready. So Bradley, if you ready, let's do these super chatters, man. Let's get them done.
Let's do it. This first one comes from Hefe Pilot. He says, "What's up, King Booker and the boat? I wanted to say thank you for the motivation, OG. I'm going to stay in good spirits, stay locked in for the row. I'm going to be chasing my dreams, and I got something to prove."
Preparation is your only luck, brother. You know what I mean? Preparation is the only luck you're ever going to have, you know, in this business, but more so in life. So just wake up in the morning, man, drop down and give me 20. That's the first thing you want to do. Drop down and give me 20. If you can do that, you can do 5 sets of 20. If you can do 5 sets, you can do 300 for that day. Boom. That's the goal. That's the goal. 300 for the day.
Boom. All right. Our next one. Hope you guys enjoyed Easter just wanted, I think is what he's trying to say. Just wanted to say you guys inspired me to get into pro wrestling, and I'll be joining the Rowe family. Oh,
Hey, man,
cool, Caleb.
appreciate you. One thing about reality wrestling, they have been representing out here in Las Vegas over this last week. Want to give a shout out to all my guys from Reality of Wrestling, alumni, everybody that's been out here representing Reality of Wrestling. Reality of Wrestling, we got our first world heavyweight champion, Jey Uso. Main event, baby. They don't call him that for nothing. Main event, Jey Uso went out there and rocked him, man. But I want to thank everybody from Reality of Wrestling, man. So, yeah, come be a part of the Row, man. The Row Nation will be waiting on you.
Yeah, man. Rowe's been over. I've been getting stopped and talked to a lot about reality wrestling and this show, the Hall of Fame. So they were coming to represent in Vegas. Callie Toenail says, "Do we agree Io, Bianca, and Rhea had the best match of Mania, but Charlotte had the best class teaching Tiffany how it's done. Even in a loss, she won." Well, yeah, that women's triple threat. We got to start calling Bianca Belair Miss WrestleMania.
Yeah.
She does not ever under-deliver at Mania. For somebody who wasn't, growing up in this industry or desired to be in
good,
it,
man.
she's phenomenal.
I said that, from day one. I talked about how good Bianca is and how she gets it. She understands how to go out and make fans feel something for her, and that's truly the art of professional wrestling. And she picked it up so quick. So definitely give her a lot of credit. Io Sky, she's so freaking awesome. You know what I mean? Definitely got to give her credit. But as far as that dropping that expert toolage and that expert knowledge from Charlotte Flair, yeah, that was a master class. It definitely was a master class, and that's what someone like Tiffany is going to need. To be able to get in there and mix it up with someone like a Charlotte Flair that could teach them the what not to do, or to teach them to, hey, flow this way. We ain't even got to talk about it, so just let's flow. All right, I can't really get into the detail as far as what I mean about that. But if you really want to know, go to realitywrestling.com and get on down there to school like so many other people talking about doing. But nah, man, for me, Steamboat, man, what a master class. What a master class. Germany, 20 minutes session. That's what I call it, a 20-minute session. Because I was just sitting under the learning tree, man. And all I remember is just having to just react, and react properly. And everything would work out just fine, man. I was like, man, this smells so freaking good. After that match, I was like Randy Orton after the first time he worked me. when he came through Gorilla, he said, "Is it that easy?" And I go, "Every night." That's the way Steve. That's the way I felt with Steamboat, and I'm sure that's the way Tiffany felt working with Charlotte Flair. So I give those that group of the ladies a round of applause.
Yeah, all the women were phenomenal. When you talk about the two women's title matches and then the women's tag title match. But yeah, going back to that Tiffany and Charlotte, it was also rough. I mean, they were laying stuff in, they were hitting them. I mean, they were making sure it was a physical match. And Tiffany Stratton proved that yeah, she can hang in there and hang tough. She had a big notch on her forehead, big old bump on her forehead, and it looked initially like she had chipped a tooth in the match. But then we saw at the post press conference, no chip tooth. So I think there may have just been maybe some blood or something on her tooth that made it look that way. But nevertheless, super physical match. And Charlotte Flair, I mean, it's crazy to think it because she's been doing this now for 10 years in WWE on the main roster, a little bit longer if you want to include the NXT run. But she is like so solidified in her legacy, like so solidified that as Callie said, win, loss, or draw, it's still Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's still that girl. And she's
good.
She's the bar, man. She's
really
the
is.
bar.
Yeah,
And
no
as I think, as we talked about, maybe Trish was that bar for the generation prior. Like, man, Trish Stratus. I think this generation looks at Charlotte Flair, because Tiffany Stratton's what, like 24 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So
She's got a lot more years, sure.
but think about this. When Charlotte started, Tiffany was like 12.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a big difference there. And they probably, because she said in the press conference to Reality Wrestling's own Emily May that Charlotte was her dream opponent for her first WrestleMania.
Wow.
This is who she always wanted it. And this was Tiffany's first WrestleMania.
Wow.
For the title, winning against Charlotte Flair.
She's just been in the thing a few years too. Just think about it. She's
incredible.
So fresh to this thing, man. That she's, had a WrestleMania moment already, so big ups to Tiffany Stratton. Now, I said she was going to be great. I said she was going to be great. You can see it written all over. She's in the right place.
She is. Callie Toenail. Paul Heyman's triple agent work is unmatched. I think this puts us back to Roman versus Seth, which frees up Punk to take on Cena for the title later this year. I think that a John Cena versus CM Punk match for the title makes sense at some point. I don't know if he's not. I don't think he's the guy to take the title off of Cena. It feels like Cody's got to get his redemption at some point. At least that's how the story should be written, or most likely would be written most of the time. But the thing is, in this angle of WWE, anything can happen.
Anything can happen, but I don't see Cody being written out of that spot. Just yet. I just don't. Just because he's like so popular right now. He's so freaking popular right now. People can say what they want to say. Cody Rhodes has definitely done a hell of a job over this last year.
The Boo Birds were out for Cody yesterday. I will say that at WrestleMania. It was about a 50-50 reaction. Now, it's a WrestleMania crowd. It was John Cena coming back in a main event position, even as a heel, and potentially going to win a world title for the 17th time. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. I think a lot of people just wanted to see that moment to say I was there when John Cena won his 17th world title,
perhaps.
more than a Cody defense. So I think that Cody's going to be okay.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be all right. Our next one here comes from D'Angelo Brown. Roman said he has 2 or 3 years left before retiring. You talked about that earlier. And think about it, like what this is crazy to say, but like what more can Roman do? He held the title for 1,100 days or whatever it was. He's main evented, I think, 11 WrestleManias.
Yeah.
More than anybody ever. He's solidified. He's the guy. He's been the guy.
I can see Roman being Aquaman.
Yeah. Going into acting. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can see him, playing a hell of a role on the big screen, So, man, he's done a hell of a job. And one thing about this business these days, with guys like Roman, they are making an exorbitant amount of money to where, unlike it was back in the 80s, guys can retire now and actually still enjoy the fruits of all of the labor. I love that. You know what I mean? And you don't want to beat, if you're smart, you don't want to beat your body up, just continuously beat it up when you don't have to. You know what I mean? That's a smart move. So if Roman would be considering retiring in the next 2 years, I commend him. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I would be, as a fan, I'm disappointed that we're not going to see Roman Reigns on television anymore. But I commend him. I'd be like, hey man, you put in your work, you put in everything you could. Now, could Roman end up being a guy like Undertaker, who we see maybe once a year come back for a big match? Perhaps, I don't know. But again, like you said, if you don't have to put your body on the line and you're living, and he does have he's got a Hollywood career ahead of him. He's been in a couple of movies already, but he's got a Hollywood career ahead of him.
I really believe that. I really do.
He did an article in Vanity Fair this week, and the pictorial, he just looks like a megastar. He looks like a transcendent, next level megastar outside of the business of pro wrestling. So it would not shock me in the slightest. Marcus Craig says, I'm hoping to see Bianca and Ripley one-on-one soon. Yeah. I mean, they have great chemistry. Io's phenomenal too. It's no shock that was a match of the night. For many people said that was the best match on WrestleMania over both nights. Rhea, God, man. Remember the old Howard Cosell, you're looking truculent tonight, Mohammed?
Yeah.
And Muhammad Ali said, truculent. Well, if it's good on that. Yeah. Rhea Ripley's that.
No, man, she's very very unique, man. She's got a very, very confidence level.
Through the roof.
I'm serious, man. And I think she's a total package. I really believe Rhea Ripley is the total freaking package. She's next level superstar. She really is. And to see Bianca and Rhea go out there, because Bianca, I'll tell you right now, also next level superstar. Take nothing away from her, man. I mean, put her against anybody. You can let her stand next to anybody. She's gonna, stand out. You know what I mean? So that matchup right there would definitely be, one for the ages, man. One to watch. It's a WrestleMania moment.
That is a WrestleMania moment. We'll go to our next super chat here. This is from Mark, from D'Angelo Brown. Is Alberto Del Rio coming back with the merger of AAA? From what Triple H said in the press conference about the AAA acquisition, is that they intend for it to continue to kind of run in its own area, continue to do what it does. And his biggest thing for the WWE side is, we just want to make it bigger, make it better, put some more, funding behind it, and keep the spirit of Lucha Libre alive. Now, they are going to have the Worlds Collide show with NXT in Los Angeles in June at the Intuit Dome, I think is where it's happening, or one of those places in LA, Money in the Bank weekend. It's going to be a phenomenal spectacle, the Worlds Collide AAA versus NXT, and I think we're going to see some great stars. Does that mean that Alberto Del Rio is going to be working back in the main roster of WWE? I don't think so. I think he's going to be under that AAA banner. Do we see him? It's highly possible.
Yeah. I mean, I love to see Alberto Del Rio.
He is great.
I mean, man,
he might have had his issues out of the ring or whatever, but he's phenomenal.
That dude could work.
He's phenomenal.
He was a hell of a worker, man. And that's what I wonder. I wonder if he's still that worker.
I haven't seen a match from his in a long time.
I haven't seen him in the ring do anything in quite some time, but I wonder if Alberto Del Rio is still that guy that we, saw once upon a time. It's hard to keep that. It really is. It's hard to maintain
at a high level.
Because he was a really, really, IQ. His wrestling IQ.
Oh yeah.
From a heel's perspective, and knowing how to go out there and control everything, aspects of that. Damn good work. I put him over all the time as one of the guys. You know what I mean? So I wonder if that same guy's, if he says that same guy. It's hard. It's hard to maintain that.
It definitely is. It definitely is hard to maintain that. But we'll see if he pops up. That AAA merger is interesting. Big Breezo, love Booker and Wade Barrett's commentary. Beautiful wrestling this weekend and crazy moments. I think Book was right. It's more than just wrestling.
It is. It really is. It's more than just wrestling. And I understand people want to see, these 5-star matches, you know what I mean, on a regular basis. But a lot of times it's about the story. Most of the time it's about the story, and if you can have a good match, as far as the payoff goes, it's just icing on the cake. You know what I mean? But I think the stories in this business and making the fans feel like they are a part of it. I think that's what wrestling is, man. Giving the fans that moment, man. It just goes back to the old lady, on the front row with, trying to hit the heel with the purse. You know what I mean? Then you give her that moment. You let her. Sometimes you let her whack you. Right? You know what I mean? Just so she can
You have the moment.
just so she can have that moment and take it home. And think about it all week, just so she can come back next week and try to do it again. That's just an example, but that's what wrestling truly is. It really is.
Incredible. Eddie Kane Main says WrestleMania 42 Booker versus Vlad TV, and nobody wants to see that.
You know what? I would beat the hell out of Vlad. You know what I mean?
Don't even give him that. Now you gave him a clip. He's gonna run wild with it.
Just saying. I'm answering the question here.
Okay.
I'm answering the question. From a celebrity match. I would give all my money to charity. You know what I mean? But if I could get him in a real fight, I was listening to Vlad. And they said, what he really he was with academics, and academics asked would he do an interview with me, and Vlad said only way he would do it if he had armed security.
Did he really say that?
Yes, he said he needed armed security to have an interview with me face to face. I'm like, am I that scary of a man? Do I look like a bully? Do I look like someone that just, angry black man? Is that me? That ain't me.
That's hilarious.
It is.
I did not see that.
Yeah, that's what he said. I heard him say it. He said it. He would have to have. Yeah, he needed armed security to have an interview with me one-on-one. I mean, he must have saw the Howard Stern interview.
Yeah, because I remember that. They put you behind the glass.
They thought I was gonna kill somebody too, But with Vlad, I probably would kill him.
Don't say that. In a metaphorical sense with your words.
No, he's looking at me right now too, probably. They say, man, wait a minute, this guy is jacked. You know what I mean? This guy.
You're just giving him content now.
I've been working out. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Let's keep it rolling.
Lord have mercy. Oh, Lord. I thought we were over with that. Cali Toenail, are we going to speak on Stone Cold and his almost running the hell out of that woman? Nick Khan had to go over and do a little damage control. Look, I'll be honest with you. I watched the clip a few times.
Did you see it?
I watched it in slow motion, too.
Was she working?
That lady was selling.
You can't say that.
She was selling. She was selling, man.
Oh my!
She looked like a soccer player. You know those soccer players flop around, or somebody in the playoffs. It's one of those where a guy fouls you and he just does like that on your jersey, and you throw your neck back and throw yourself on the ground. Look, that lady probably paid a lot of money for that seat, and she was probably saying, "Can I get that money back? Can I sell this entry? Maybe I can get a little something on top of it." Yeah. But it was a sell. It was a sell job.
You know what, man? Like I say, I didn't see. I didn't actually see the incident when it actually happened. I mean, actually, I haven't even went back and seen any clips, but I did see some stuff on social media about it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I know Stone Cold Steve Austin didn't do anything out of malice.
No,
or anything like that. I'm sure if it was accident, it was accident more than anything. And hopefully, she's okay.
She seemed okay.
Yeah.
She seemed okay. It looked like she was selling a little bit. D'Angelo Brown says, fun fact question, Demon King Finn or The Fiend? Oh, okay. Yeah, Demon King Finn Balor or The Fiend. And that Fiend character, when its debut, I think that was at SummerSlam against Finn Balor. So dynamic.
Well, if we're looking for the Demon King, we're going to be looking at him from not just his the costume and how over the top that is, but his wrestling was very, very unique.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's the one thing that was different with the Fiend opposed to. I mean, the Fiend, you're going to be looking at it from the character perspective and how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
Which there again, that's wrestling. You know what I mean? But the Demon, he had the character, and then the wrestling there from a totally different perspective, how it made you feel.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to even compare the two.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is hard to compare the two. That the Fiend was just so dynamic in that entrance and that presentation, and because when you talk about the Fiend, you also have to talk about the Firefly Funhouse and the duality of the character that Bray was pulling off at the time.
Yeah.
With the Demon King, it was awesome entrance, but when the bell rang, he could go out there and he was just great. Finn continues to be great. Oscar Bum says the fans pooped on the match because they wanted Cena to be a face. or they'd be praising his bad guy work. They should have just done a double turn a la Rock Hogan. No, you can't do a double turn after you turn Cena heel for the first time in 20 plus years. And here's the other thing too. Cena, you know this. He's so smart to the business, right? Like such a smart guy. I almost wonder if some of the quote unquote work that he was putting in last night wasn't to elicit this type of reaction. What has his character's prognosis been? Like, what has the mission statement been? I'm going to ruin wrestling. I'm going to ruin professional wrestling to where you're not going to love it anymore. You're going to hate pro wrestling because I'm going to ruin it. And honestly, like a lot of the stuff we saw in the main event, including the Fiend, Travis Scott, kind of felt like he was trying to live up to that promise. You know what I mean? Like legitimately trying to elicit a certain emotion out of the people. I wouldn't be shocked if that was part of his modus of operandi.
I don't know what the modus operandi is, but I can tell you this. I'll tell you that Joe's smart, and I was just reading that he's going to be headlining these overseas tours, Perth and a few other places.
Yeah.
Right? And, it's a method to the madness. John Cena's not just doing this for his benefit. It's going to be his crowning achievement for his career on his way out, winning that final championship, going out there defending it, and then there again, it's not about how you win; it's going to be how you lose at the end of the day. How is he going to lose at the end?
Yeah, it's going to be great.
It's going to be some really, really great television. It's setting us up for some really, really good TV, and people don't even really understand it. And they're gonna love it so much when it finally happens. God, man, it's gonna be unbelievable.
It's going to be incredible. Yeah. It's going to be incredible. This next one comes from, that's the one we just did. This next one comes from Angry Duckling Institution. I don't know about you guys, but Joe Hendry stunt had me laughing my you-know-what off. I believe in your injury, Joe Hendry. Okay, I don't know what that means, but it was a cool moment. And again, we talked about Joe. Joe's a good guy.
People are going to try to criticize, because Joe Hendry didn't go out there and have
a 5-star classic.
A 5-star classic at WrestleMania. Or not just that, the 50-50 match that a lot of people are accustomed to seeing, especially that's just used to watching wrestling matches, not thinking about the story, not thinking about the moment, or someone like Joe Hendry, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I bet you a week before that he wasn't thinking he was going to be at WrestleMania.
yeah, this probably came together very fast.
And then I'm sure, I'm not going to even get off into, like I say, the semantics of it or anything like that. It was a great moment for Joe Hendry, and I'm so glad to have seen Joe Hendry have a WrestleMania moment. Something I talk about that I wish for so many other young people had that WrestleMania moment, just to see how it feels just one time. But for me, with Joe Hendry, that was just the beginning of something that's going to be really, really big for Joe Hendry, because he showed something that I think needed to be shown to the world, and that's the people want to see Joe Hendry in that position. Bottom line. That's going to happen. The fans are going to manifest it. When the time is right, Joe Hendry is going to be, doing his thing, and he's going to be doing it big, and I cannot wait.
Yeah. You and I both, and to me, Triple H actually talked about this in the press conference too. He said when you put together a card like this over 2 nights, he almost likened it to the way a musician puts together an album, right? Every song on an album isn't way up here, hype, get the crowd going, pop, huge party music, right? Like it might have a really strong, intro track, and then we have a little party track, and then we're gonna come down with a ballad, right. And then we're gonna have this song and maybe a skit in the, what I mean? Like it's gonna bring you through different emotions. And when you look at the Joe Hendry match where it was placed on the card, it almost felt like, hey, we gave you these crazy matches. You had a street fight. You had that women's triple threat. You had this. You had that. We're about to have the main event and a women's tag. We need something to break this up and give people just some entertainment for a second.
Yeah. Not
crazy match, not 5-star, false finish, kick out, whatever match. We want to give someone some entertainment. And that's what that Joe Hendry and Randy Orton match was. It was a moment. It gave Joe a moment. It gave Randy a moment. It gave the crowd a moment. Beautiful. I couldn't expect it to be any better than it was. Landon says, what are some workouts or advice you would give a 19-year-old who is itching to start getting into the gym and getting into shape to eventually join a pro wrestling school?
Well, keep it simple, kid. It's that simple. You want to do bench press, you want to do squats, you know what I mean? You want to do curls, one thing about working out for me is I got a regiment. I try to do everything in reps, sets and reps. 5 sets is normally my goal, and then my other goal is no matter what, if I can't do 8 to 10 reps, I don't do it. You know what I mean? Because my body is not going to get anything out of it if I can't really, put some time into that one exercise. So 8 to 10 good reps, I know my body is going to feel it. But 5 sets, and I try to do that with everything. Another trick is I pyramid up and pyramid down the same exact way. Just like, say, for instance, if I'm on the bench, start with 135 to 185 to 205 to 225, 275, and then pyramid back down, and then get to that warm up, of course, at 135, and try to do as many as you possibly can. So if you do that, like I say, squats, same thing, 8 to 10, 5 sets. You do that, your body will actually spark, and something will start happening. And over a period of time, man, you look like that.
Body beautiful, baby. Richard Jr. says, do you guys think that Roxanne would create a sanctuary to play mind games with Stephanie Vaquer at WWE NXT? A sanctuary? She create? I don't know. I don't know what that means. I actually think we're going to see the opposite, because I saw Roxanne trolling Bayley on Twitter today, right? A lot of tweets about Bayley not being able to make the WrestleMania match, getting taken out. Is that, are we seeing maybe that angle getting picked back up between Roxanne and Bayley? Monday Night Raw, perhaps? Friday Night SmackDown,
Maybe
perhaps?
it was never left off.
Yeah. It's
You know what
just
I mean?
timing.
Timing is everything. And with WrestleMania coming up, sometimes you have to pivot. So now, man, I see Roxanne Perez doing some major work here in the near future. What is that work going to be? I don't know. I don't want to anticipate it or anything like that. But I mean, I don't want to. I want to anticipate it. So let's see exactly what's going. Let's do that.
Yeah, well, because she's definitely main roster bound, the way I see it. It was good to see her too at Stand and Deliver.
The thing is, I'm waiting, but I'm waiting. Of course, the main roster is there. And then she's doing stuff with NXT still. You know what I mean? But I know the main roster is there. But my thing is, when it happened, it'll be right.
Yes,
that's the way I'm looking at it.
Landon says, do you think fans are too caught up in backstage / real life business to the point where it's almost if they care more about that than a wrestler's ability in the ring or their persona? There is no doubt about it that I think everybody is fascinated with the behind the scenes of WWE and wrestling in general. So much so, I saw Netflix is launching a new show sometime in the summer. I don't know if you saw the trailer for it. The WWE, I think it's called Unreal, which shows like the writing and the creative process. Now, somebody who does some of that with you at Reality Wrestling, I'm fascinated to watch that and understand that. Is there a bit of the old school maybe mentality of like, wow, you're giving too much away? Maybe, but also you got to live in the generation you're living in. You got to live in the times that you're living in. And right now, that's the times that we're living in, where people know about both sides of the ball. So whatever I think you can do to generate enough interest to get people to buy a ticket is what the game's about.
I think Landon might have been watching ESPN Pat McAfee show this morning, because I was watching Paul Heyman was a guest on there this morning. He was talking about something like I talk about all the time, how if you don't change with the times will pass you by. And they was asking him a lot of questions, and you could tell Paul, I don't know, it seemed like he was kind of frustrated with the questions, you know what I mean? Because he was just answering questions point blank. Period. Like one question was asked to him, and he goes, "No." The full answer. He got another question, and he was talking about how how the business has changed, and if he was still the old relic from back in the day, he would not be able to change, with the business the way it is today. Just say, for instance, you know, the way we do things now is, we go over it, and everything may be done a certain way, and then when it's time to go, we get it done. Now, if I'm the type to say no, I don't want to do it that way. Well, I'm not coming into the way things are done today. You know what I mean? It was done that way back in the day. It's not done that way now. I got to be smart enough to be able to come in to today and what's going on. So I was so appreciative to listening to Paul Heyman, how he so articulately laid it out to these guys that, look, bro, things have changed. Of course, certain things may work from back then, but things have changed now, and we got to understand how to go with the change opposed to trying to go against it. You know what I mean? I was like, man, so poetically put with Paul Heyman.
Well, I didn't get to see Paul's. I saw John Cena's interview on McAfee, and McAfee is definitely feeling the Vegas atmosphere. Let me just say that in that way. And at one point, he asked John Cena, like, so how you stay in shape? And John Cena goes, "You're totally out of questions to ask me." That got a pop from me.
No joke. I'm serious.
That got a pop from me. Let's see. Dad's Our Job podcast. How does Booker T feel about John Cena taking away a part of wrestling that you helped to build on tonight at Raw? Cena stealing wrestling.
I don't look at it that way, man. I just don't look at it that way at all. I think what Cena brings to the table. If you one of the young guys on the roster, and you happen to be on the same card with John Cena, and you happen to get to network with John Cena that night, he actually pulled you aside and say, "Hey, kid, man, I've been watching you, man. Man, you guys just don't understand how it feels to be in that position, because I've been in that position, and I never once looked at it like it was someone like John Cena taking, my shine away or anything like that, or this old guy's coming and taking my. I never looked at it that way one freaking time. I was always looked up to those guys and said, man, I wish I'm in that same position one day. And I'm gonna be willing to work for it, and then hopefully that advice he give me propel me to that position. You know what I mean? So please stop looking at it like, someone like John Cena is here to enhance what these young kids are doing, and hopefully he can pass the torch properly at the end of the day.
Yeah, I feel that. We have a couple more before we wrap up for the day. Anthony Green, what's the issue on Cross, and what do you think about his status moving forward after his viral outrage? So Karrion Kross was a part of that Logan Paul, AJ Styles match, and then he had this promo that I have to be honest with you, I have not watched yet, but I saw that it was going all over the internet. I said, man, I need to watch this, because I saw I had some length to it, and I didn't take a second yet to watch it. But I think that this is a guy who I like Karrion. I really do. I just don't know if he's ever been put in the right position, or you know what? Let me take that back. Or if it's been his time yet.
Yeah.
And I think now seems to be his time. It seems to be they gave him that WrestleMania spot for a reason, because they're going to have a little bit of a old pusherooski for him, I think, coming up. And he has a great look. He's there with Scarlett, who has a great look as well. And we'll see what happens with old Karrion Kross. They gave him a faction for a while that didn't really work out. That faction's gone. The Final Testament, I believe it was called. AOP's gone. Paul Ellering's gone. Karrion, this could be his time, because I know he's been doing this for a minute.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I can't tell you a whole lot about Karrion Kross. I can tell you this: clock is ticking on this dude. Clock is ticking. He ain't getting any younger or anything like that. And one thing about Karrion Kross, I don't know if he's going to get a shot or not. You know what I mean? To go out there and show exactly what he has. You know what I mean? Like you say, he's been put in position to where we've actually seen him in the ring work, I don't remember. It's hard for me to remember any of the matches or anything like that. I remember the intro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember Scarlet. You know what I mean? Uh, that's something, that definitely sparks, your attention right off the bat. Say, man, what is this? I was peeping the old intro that they had back in NXT. It was awesome.
It was cool.
It was
Very
so
cool.
freaking awesome. You say, man, I want to see this. I want to see it again. But when the music stops, that's when all the real work get done. So I can tell you this. I want to see Karrion Kross get a shot, a real shot. But I'm gonna tell you this: Karrion Kross gonna have only one shot to actually go out there and really prove what he can bring to the table inside the middle of that square circle. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So when Karrion, when you get the shot, you better go out there and deliver, son. Because guess what? I'm gonna be watching.
All right. We got two more, it looks like, before we wrap up for the day. Landon said, thanks for responding, Booker. Have a great week. And thank you for all you've done for the world of professional wrestling.
Oh, appreciate it.
And then our final one is Steve just showing a little bit of love, Book. Well, so that's it.
Hey, man.
WrestleMania in the books, baby.
Appreciate you guys, man, for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes, caviar dreams. You super chatters, man. You guys is what really keep this show going. So, man, I want to thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. Really, really do. Brad, like I say, all the heavy lifting. Until next time, guys. Peace. We love you.